whole race paradigm and what that has done. When was the first? They say that the oldest war that took place was between man and woman. When was it? We talked about this nuclear war that happened, this nuclear winter. When was the first time that man and woman went at it? And if we're going to talk about this great mother so much, I guess the divine feminine lost power, if that's the proper way to say it.
That takes us right back to Lord said. The word En means Lord in Semitic language, ancient Semitic language and hieroglyphics in Sumerian. En means Lord or master of something. And Set is the antithesis of Osiris. He is the uncle who comes to steal his brother's throne, right? The origin of the story is the biblical war in heaven that landed on earth. Was about birthright to the earth, mitochondrial right to rule, and as the creator gods, goddesses, gods, and ruler god is the Y chromosome rulership right. Earth being a feminine planet supposed to be under matriarchal order in order for it to have heavenly qualities in the physical form. So the war that started on heaven was actually a war in Nibiru between siblings, twins, a brother and a sister. And the brother did not want to relinquish the jurisdictional authority of Earth to the matriarchy. So he tried to instill his wife from a mirror universe as the divinity of the Earth to create the 6,000-year rule. But that's all after the war took place, started on Nibiru, is where they set it off. And then they end up coming to Earth in conclusion to fight it out in the Pleiadian light lock that we call the Van Allen belt. So we sitting here looking at the aftermath of all of the first war, and all wars being battles in that great war.
What was the name of the brother and sister, for those who don't know, Rod?
It's written in the story of Inanna, which is supposed to be the story of Inanna and Enlil's conflict. So when the uncle went to take power from the mother, the son overheard it. And they say, and Michael, but it wasn't Michael, it was Michelle. Because all of those archangels that they talk about was females that guarded the throne of the Great Mother. And that's why they was like, this angel sit on this hand to God, and this angel sit on this, and this angel the foot of God. All they telling you is they position around the throne to protect the Great Mother.
So you trying to tell me right now, Rod, that Archangel Michael is really Archangel Michelle?
Yeah.
Well, there you go again. There you go again with this shit, man.
Okay, you got to understand Anunnaki psychology and how they go to war. Right. They like to change the name, right? Or they like to name somebody, they want to replace somebody the same name. Mm-hmm. When they call that beheading of the god. If when they sing Medusa, Medusa just means she was a Psi priestess, rank number 10, meaning that she was the Alpha and Omega of Psi priestess, meaning that she had the right to train Gorgons under her. That wasn't her name. That was her rank and her title because of her rank, Medusa. She was a Gorgon. A Gorgon is a goddess of the water, birth priestess. Psi, like Psi-Netta. Psi means God. Psi-Netta means God of the birth priestesses. Or spirit or energy of the earth priestesses. So you have Psi-Netta. Psi is the doula priestesses, the birth bringers and the welcoming of the children into the new world. And these are the ones that became nuns when the Catholic Church was hostily taken over. But before that, they was the priestesses of Mommy Water, the Delphi priestesses, the oracles of the earth, the 12 daughters of Isis. Right now, they've been relegated to the primordial abyss, so now they just call them the New. They sent them back to the Great Mother. They put them all in black, but they're supposed to be wearing white because they're supposed to be welcoming the light. Switcheroo.
Man, oh man. We're gonna get to I ain't gonna be on here too long tonight. Me and Rod getting ready to do something. I've been talking about a while, but we're finally gonna do this Patreon this coming week. Family, we're doing this Patreon part 2 to the ESP. It's finally going down. Telepathy, extrasensory perception, all that good stuff. We're gonna do the part 2 to that. It's gonna be absolutely insane. Another announcement before I get to the Q&A. The non-ether. Yo, Rod, did you see the non-ether God Fest about did you hear about that yet, Rod?
Yeah, a couple people called me and told me about it.
Oh, it's going down big time, Rod. Oh, it's going down big time, Rod. Rod, it's going down big time, man. Yo, bro, man, the people that's gonna be there, oh my God.
When is it?
February 8th. I believe that, yeah, it's in 8 days. Yeah, February 8th, next Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday. We got, listen, man, we got Griff, we got Billy Carson, Dr. Be Serious, Sharif Bey, Sister Myra, Aaron Lyons, Soleil, Red Pill, Blue Pill, Hank Rising Son, B-Dell, just yesterday, Priestess, I said Rob Men's gonna be there. I mean the lineup is absolutely insane. Loaded Lux, the battle rappers, Loaded Lux gonna be there. Cam Botter's gonna be there. I mean, Rob, man, this is.
Hey, you had me at Aaron Lyons.
Man.
You know that's my girl there. You know, when you see people channeling,
yeah,
and you know from the message that the channel is crystal clear, man, that makes like somebody else can do some work other than me.
Are you talking about
Aaron Lyons?
Hey, Aaron, yeah, she's sharp with her channeling, right? She's sharp
Man,
with it.
She the MF and true.
Damn, yeah, she's sharp with it. She is sharp.
But she had me when you asked her about the diet, and she talked about you're supposed to instinctually eat. Because most people be trying to push the vegan thing so hard because the vegan thing then turned into a cult.
A religion, yeah.
You know, no religion, a full-blown cult. They will F you up.
Yeah.
About going against the vegan.
Yeah.
Right? They starting to get violent with it. You know, but they got to remember that half of the vegans wasn't always vegans. Different people is at different levels of development. If you want to help them to the next level and you want them to, they might not supposed to be vegan. Everybody ain't supposed to follow the same diet. That's why they have a book called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. Right? Because they show you the diet that's most compatible with your ancestral program. Blood type is altered through diet.
Yeah. Let's get to some quick Q&A before we get out of here, family. Absolutely amazing show. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say with the God Fest, it's gonna be on Patreon. So that's another thing. If you are a Patreon, it's gonna be recorded, and I'm gonna throw it on the Patreon for the family. So if you're a Patreon member, you will be able to view the non-ether God Fest. All right, family. Let's get to some okay, we're gonna start with the question I see right in front of me right now. Static Shock says, who are the modern day Washita people and what is their importance today?
All of the tribes are scattered across the land. And the Washita was a family network. Most of them kept the last name. In English, is commonly called Washington. The name Washington comes from the name Washita, which comes from the name Wachita. Right? And the bigger the family get, you have what's called sub-tribes, where Uncle Philip didn't want to stay in Big Papa house. He got too big for his britches, So Big Mama sent him to go set up another farm over there in another family unit. He became the chief of his own clan, and he gave it his own name. So you can't say no one people is any one thing now because of the fact of us being scattered across the land. But we can trace back to where our longest and said, like I can trace back to Macomb, Magnolia, Mississippi on my motherland, and back to Canton on my fatherland. Right. So I know that on my fatherland had a heavy Chata influence, and one of my aunties said she was Chata, one of my father's aunties, and told me we were Chata. On my mother's side, she was down there, and I don't have the. They say we Cherokee, but there's no record of Cherokee that I was able to find from my grandfather's land down in Magnolia, Mississippi. Right? It's a lot of them are Chickasaw and Chata and just Mississippi. Right? Even when you say Mississippian, you could just as well say Olmec, Inca, Maya, Aztec. It's the same people in different time periods. And that's why they try to trick us and tell us they different people at different times.
Next question, Rod. So, they want to know, who was the black lady found on the crashed spacecraft on the backside of the moon?
They call her Mona Lisa. And she had this particular breathing apparatus on and looking apparatus. I'm not sure. I don't think they found that on the moon. I think they found her in Arizona. That's my opinion. But the moon is a whole spaceship, so.
Right. Next question. This is I don't. They just said, how about the Negas? Well, I don't know what they want to know. It's kind of
the Nagas kings was from the Indus Valley. It was a time where world power was shifted from empire to empire. The Nagas kings is when the empire that we call India today, which is the Ayurvedic line of kingship that was handed down through the Aryans. Those were the Nagas kings. Those are the same ones we were talking about earlier, Rich. The Dravidians, the Untouchables, the ones that like the Jacksons back in the early 70s when they had the afros and the big nose.
Right. Indeed. Let's get to this next question. What's your take on multiple plane crashes, as another plane just crashed in Philly?
Yeah, the chaos on the way out. The falling system got to create the chaos, but it's cold. Like Phase 1 did a good breakdown on the ritualistic aspect. D-Dale did one, and then this is another sister. She on my I was posting hers on my Facebook page. They all gave good breakdowns on the symbolism behind it. Right. So I give you them as references because they're gonna give you more details than I'm gonna give you right now because I'm in my dilly gap mode.
Okay. Let's get to the next question. What was the relationship between the Mississippians and the Arawak?
Most of the tribes was cordial before they began to be set against each other by the invaders. Even the warring tribes, when we was warring with each other, it wasn't nothing but a fist fight and everybody went home. It was when the settlers came, put guns in our hands, and we started killing each other.
Somebody, hold up. Somebody asked about your Cash App. I done wrote it so many times. I remember. Hold up. SikApe, right, Rod?
Yeah.
Let me put that up here. Yeah. For those who want to inquiring about supporting the brother Rod Hayes, you can hit the Cash App up. $SikApe is the way that you can support this genius brother we got here. I don't know what to call him, man. But the brother was channeling. He was tapped in tonight. He was definitely tapped in. He, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what he's smoking on, but god damn, the brother was tapped in tonight. So yeah, you can support the brother with Cash App, brother. Show the brother some love. This was a solid hour of information that I think every melanated folk, now we're all melanated, it's just different varying levels of melanin. But everybody, human being, should hear this show that was broadcast tonight. So make sure you'll support the brother $SikApe. We're gonna do 2 more questions, y'all. I can't be on here too long, and I don't want to keep the brother too long. We're gonna do 2 more, then we're gonna get out of here. Somebody, do you know who this is? Somebody said, can you talk about the Rainbow Warriors prophecy? What's that, Rod? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, that was when, at the end of the Piscean age, the native elders, our elders from this land, prophesied that it will be a rainbow of tribes from different skin colors.
Mm.
And they would come together in the time of the crystal generation to usher in another world, a better world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an old prophecy. And most of it, if you asking about it, you already know what the prophecy is.
Indeed. Let's get to another question. Okay. Somebody said, who are the Abyssinians / Ethiopians in relation to us? Are they dirty Moors?
The Ethiopians is a whole different genetic stock from the ones we call dirty Moors, and they are different genetic stock from us. They got a different father line. So mitochondrially, we might be more related than we is by Y chromosome. And that was once known as the land of Inki. In the theosophy, they called him the old man Africa. But Africa wasn't called Africa before the Berlin Conference. So, but it was called Eastern Ethiopia was Indus Valley, and Ethiopia proper was the Ethiops that the Greeks renamed. Land of the burnt faces.
Okay.
Egyptos, land of the dark faces.
Let's get to another question. Let's see. I think Rod answered this one already. The black no, yeah, he already talked about the black nobility. So I'm gonna try to get to a question that. All right. Somebody said, will we ever have access to other lands outside the Antarctica ice wall?
You got access now if you can afford to get there. But the wall is not a wall, it's a shelf.
It's a what?
A shelf.
What you mean?
You ever see that tree stump they call the mountain in Arizona?
Yeah.
You see how the top of it is flat? But the sides of it go up. Right? That's the shelf. The top is the shelf.
Okay.
Right? What they call in the ice wall is just the outside of the freeze zone. Right? A lot of the icebergs over the millennia have broken off from there and floated into the oceans at different places and eventually melted.
Right.
But it's the wall has a shelf on the top that covers the land, most of the land of Antarctica. All of it not covered with ice, just most of it. But they came from a splash. So imagine a upsplash of water suddenly freeze. Right. And that's what happened because it pierced in the last Anunnaki war that caused the ice age, that nuclear winter. It shifted the Earth in its atmosphere, like pushing the yolk outside of the egg. Right. And then it got flash froze. That's what make it be frozen.
All right. I think that is it, y'all. That is it. I guess this is a good way to conclude the show, Rod. They want to know, what are we supposed to be doing as a people right now to prepare for what's to come? This is the conclude the show tonight, y'all. What should we be doing to prepare for what's to come, Rod?
Study family banking, build stronger family ties, and communicate as much as possible with like-minded people in the open as much as possible. And don't fall for none of the fear tactics. And we good.
So we should be getting closer to our family, you saying?
Yeah.
Rod, a lot of people don't fuck with their family, Rod. I'm sorry to tell you, man. People be like,
listen, Rich, even if they don't mess with their own family, they mess with a family.
Yeah, you're right.
They got a family that they love, like this the family I should have been born in.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the tribe energy. They tribing up doing that.
Right.
Your relatives is people you born with. Your friends is the family you pick, and your family is the ones that ride with you till the wheels fall off.
Right.
The bonds of affection is tied by the ties of loyalty. Right? And you know the ones that got your best interest at heart. Like anywhere I go, if I got a relative there, I can pull up and go get a blanket out the closet and lay down and go to sleep.
Right.
They're not gonna have no problem with it. But there's some people that can't do that.
Yeah.
They show up at their family house, they might meet firearms.
Yeah.
But everybody got a family that they click with. And this is why we never had orphans. Because somebody gonna take you in. But the family dynamic is not gonna change. Family gonna have a family structure. They're gonna have strong ties. They're gonna enjoy each other. They're gonna commonly gather, you know, and do what family do.
Indeed. Oh man, what a show, right, y'all? What we got? We got about 3,000 people in the chat. I know y'all enjoyed it. Y'all done stuck around, man. All 3,000 y'all done stuck around. Man, Rod, what a show, man. I'm glad I called you to do this show tonight. I'm glad we chose the topic. Once again, family, me and Rod gonna do a part 2 to help us to tap into our ESP, extrasensory perception, telepathy, telekinesis, all that good stuff, all these abilities we got. We're going to do a part 2 of my Patreon next week. Definitely make sure you're a part of Patreon family. Also, the Nani the God Fest will be on Patreon as well. So you want to be a Patreon to get all of the goodies. All right. Rod, what any contact info you want to leave the people with before we get out of here?
You know, they can find me on Facebook at Rod Hayes. My profile and background change often. And you can find me on the SikApe on Instagram. Otherwise, you catch me here with Brother Rich or with the Young Elder over there. And occasionally other people invite me, and I show up there too. Shout out to True Seekers 88. They had me on there a couple times on Rumble. Right? The reason why they call it the sandbar is the reference to the Plymouth. Because they had to keep that ship out there in order to maintain the term called occupation. If you don't understand military occupation, then you don't even, that's why you can't unravel American history. The military occupation is something that happened as a result of a war and an invasion.